What's up? What's up, everyone? It's 2019, and I hope you're super excited to get ready to take this year by storm. Hit it. Welcome to the Passion Behind the Art Show. It's all about diving in with individuals to learn the story behind their passion. It's your host, Darold Pinnock. All right, so it's 2019 and I'm excited about it. You know, usually you have this New Year's jitters of just being excited, ready to build this thing, ready to do your thing, ready to, whatever the case may be, just ready to take it on. And, it's a good feeling, and it's a feeling that you want to have, and I'm just looking forward to 2019. I'm looking forward to where this podcast will go. I'm looking forward to how much more I can help you, the listener, to just take a bigger step, think bigger, have bigger dreams, but more importantly, just executing like you're a beast. But before I get into this week's episode, I just want to thank you. Thank you for listening. You don't know how much this means to me. How much the comments, how much waking up and seeing the podcast tagged in some conversation of a good podcast to listen to. How I hear someone else talking about the podcast, and how it led them down a good trail of being in front of more creatives or more people that's doing something, or just a better community to be a part of. And I'm truly grateful. I'm truly honored. I just don't think, I can really express my gratitude of your dedication for listening, and just the reviews, leaving reviews. I mean, I haven't really stressed that too much, and I haven't really talked about it a lot, but reviews, I really appreciate the reviews. They mean a ton to me. Just you taking the time out to leave a review on iTunes. I'm really appreciative of everyone's help to this podcast. Shout out to the Creative South community, Mike Jones, and all the people that I've met through that community, for just supporting this podcast. Shout out to the Logo Geek community, Ian Paget. Just really appreciate you showing this podcast love. Shout out to the Future community. It's just so much different avenues and rabbit holes this podcast has taken me down, and I've got the opportunity to meet some awesome people. Shout out to the Good Type community, for just opening their arms, and just Brooke Robinson. Just thank you guys for just really showing this podcast love. Shout out to the Perspective Collective community, Scotty Russell. I just want to say thank you to everyone, and the Simplecast community, Aaron Dowd, everyone that's shown this podcast love in some way, shape, or form. I just really want to tell you thanks. I have a small group of fellas that I chat with through text. I have one group that I chat with through text. You know who you are. And I have another group that I chat with through Twitter, the Escape group. I just want to thank you guys for your love. Thank you guys for your support. I really appreciate just everyone that I've met through just starting this podcast. Today, I want to get into just a challenge that I have. I want to get into a challenge that I have, that I put on myself, and now I'm passing it on to you. And my challenge is
use the month of January. Now, if you're a super pro and you already did this, then more power to you. You've already did it before the year started, but if not, use the month of January to plan out how you're going to accomplish your goals for 2019. And what do I mean by that? Plan out a daily plan. What are the small steps you're going to take daily in regards to getting towards these goals that you want to reach, right? Some small steps, but you have to plan out a daily plan. So, for example, February 1st, this is what I'm going to do, right? So one of the goals that I have is for this podcast to hit 200,000 downloads by the end of 2019, right? 200,000 downloads by the end of 2019. And I'm currently in the process of planning that out. What is that going to look like daily? What is that going to look like on a daily basis? What am I going to do on a daily basis to plan for this podcast to hit this 200,000 downloads a month? So February 1st, what's the first thing I'm going to do? Who am I going to talk to? How am I going to widen the reach? So that's something that you should be thinking about and actually coming up with a actionable plan. A plan that, okay, each day, this is what I'm doing. If it's more conversations, if it's just each day, this is what I'm doing to move towards this 200K or whatever it is. Raise your income. You break that. You want to add, say you want to add $10,000 to your income. You break that down from February 1st to December 31st on a daily basis. What do I need to make extra each day to get there? And then what am I going to do to make that extra money? So this is my challenge for you. January, all of January, put your head down and come up with a actionable plan. Not just write your goals down and, then start working, but an actionable plan. And it doesn't have to be anything big. Like February 1st could just be I need to make one phone call. For me, February 1st could mean that I will get more involved in a certain community. You know what I mean? February 1st could be like, okay, I will create a quote card from a past guest. February 1st could be so many different things. Make a video, right? Launch that video on February 1st. Like all of these things, like an actionable plan, just one thing. And if it's the widen your income, like what skill do you have that February 1st it could bring an extra $5 in your account, an extra $20, an extra $25, an extra $50. And 10 days in, you get that $50, that's $500. You know what I mean? And you just keep going from there. This is my challenge to you. Come up with an actionable plan, something that you will do. And of course, there will be adjusting along the way, but each day you wake up from February 1st going on throughout 2019, it will get you closer to your goal or goals for 2019. Because if you don't do that, I guarantee you, a lot of these goals that you have will fall to the wayside. You have to have an actionable plan, a plan that is broken down to a daily activity. Again, thank you again for all that you've done with this podcast. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep helping us grow. As I said, I want to hit 200,000 downloads. So if you're a super fan for this podcast, I would love if you haven't left a review, leave a review. But more importantly, share this with as much people as possible. All right? Episode 100 is coming up, and still working out the kinks on what I'm going to do. How am I going to top? I think it was like 12 guests, 9 hours live stream. How am I going to top that? It's crazy when you start out the gate like that. It's hard to top it. So if you have any ideas, throw it my way. I would love to hear what you would like to see us do for episode 100. But for now, I'm going to let you go. But thanks again for tuning in to this week's episode.
Thanks again for listening to this week's episode. I really appreciate you taking the time out. I hope, you got something from it, that it brought you value, and, you were able to pull some key tips, some key practices that can help you to take your career to the next level and just to elevate your mindset in general. If you want to learn about everything that I'm doing, you can go to dpcreates.com. That's D as in dog, P as in Peter, creates.com. Or go to the podcast website. That's passionbehindtheart.com. Thanks again for listening to this week's episode. Be blessed.